This is Doug Davis, broker in charge with Corambi Realty, and another episode of Ask Doug. I get lots of questions that I have to answer. So today I wanted to talk about one that just about every listing, every homeowner that wants to sell asks, how do we determine the value of our home? How do we determine the value of our home, piece of land, our condo? So that's what I'm going to go over today. So um, how do you know what it's worth? How do you know if your number is correct? How do you price it? So I can tell you what it's not. It's not what you want. It's not based on your mortgage amount. It's not based on how much profit you want to get. Those are all backing out backwards. You can't ask the question that way. You might not get anything out of their property sale based on perhaps how big your mortgage is. So that's not it. So what is it? So it's really competitive. The more competitive numbers that you can assemble from different sources, the better. To give you an idea, and the value will emerge from that. So I want to share this cartoon with everyone that goes over ideas of value. So here's what your tax assessor sees your home as. This is how your appraiser sees what your home is worth. As your buyer, that's what they see, and your lender, and of course your beautiful home that you see. So yeah, that kind of sums it up. Anyway, just a comical way of showing and demonstrating that people have all sorts of ideas of value. So one of the first things that I do, I assemble about 5 different ways if you can. And the first one would be the tax assessment. It's a broad average. It's based on a broad swath of a neighborhood. So for example, you have a condo in Waikiki, it would be based on all of the condos in the entire Waikiki area. And they would add all those numbers up from every single condo and divide it by the number and give you $1 per square foot, and then multiply that back based on the square footage that you have. So it doesn't take into account your view. Maybe you're on the front of the building and see a gorgeous ocean view versus back of the building and you're looking into another building. It won't take account that. It's just a broad average. It won't take into account that you renovated, floor level, high floor, low floor. It's just a broad average. So, but it's a good guide because it's averaging everyone. Number 2 would be a website that does this sort of thing, like Zillow. They have a Zestimate, and they have their own logarithms that look at a variety of things and come up with a number. And they give a range of value and a exact number that they want to put out. Again, something like that doesn't take into account remodels. How would they know that? Some kind of superior view, they wouldn't necessarily know that. But they certainly would know square footages and averages. I think better than the tax assessment. The tax assessment would probably be the lowest one on the list. Yeah, so it's just another value. The third one would be any sort of appraisal that someone might have. Maybe you got one because someone passed away, so you had a time of death appraisal. Maybe you did a recent refinance and had an appraisal there. There's all kinds of reasons people might have a recent appraisal which you could use for one of the numbers that you're collecting. And just as an aside, I always wonder why people get a refi, they get an appraisal and do a refi and then sell. Don't do that. No sense spending all that money on points, appraisals, all the loan costs, credit checks, all that sort of thing, and then sell. You just spent thousands of dollars to do a refi, and then you're paying, I think was my last discussion was you pay so much more in interest in the first 10-15 years of your mortgage. You're paying all interest. So don't do that. Okay, that's just an aside. Appraisals will take into account view and condition and renovation, that sort of thing. But if you hired 3 appraisers, you probably would get 3 different values. So it's another ballpark, a good one, better than the tax assessment, and should be better than something like a Zestimate. Fourth one is maybe you've been on the market before and had offers, recent offers, or unsolicited offers. Those are a good gauge. Buyers have gone and seen right up to the moment, likely many homes. They've been looking online, they've been going and seen, maybe gone to open houses. They've seen a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen homes, and they have a real good pulse on what the market is. So their offers are probably real good, should be real good. So that's another guide. All right, so tax assessment, Zestimate, appraisals, offers. And the 5th one, last one, and that would be a competitive market analysis, CMA, and that's what real estate folks do. And we use our MLS system to look at all the sales and the active listings and the escrows and try to find homes that are very similar, the most similar as possible, and see what they're selling for. Also look at the active listings to see if you have a rising market, the listings should be higher than the sale, showing appreciation and tending a certain direction. Or maybe there's no active listings, you'd be the only one. So you should be perhaps a step up from the sales in an appreciating market like we have now. But you look at all those things and come up with a number. Again, it's a guesstimate, just like a Zestimate, just like the offers. That you put all of those together, 5 things or as many as you can, and put all those numbers together, and you have some semblance of what a property is worth. Anyway, that's how we do it. You don't have to do it. You can leave it to an appraiser, a Zestimate, or a real estate agent to do all of that for you. And your attempt is to not leave any money on the table and get the best that the market will bear for you based on current market conditions. So that's how you price your property. So there you have it. Again, if you have any Ask Doug questions you'd like to hear online here, I'd love to hear from you. Okay, everyone, stay safe and have a great day.